Amazing. Do well this nigga. Sticks and stones may break my bones, yeah. But easy now, I'm bulletproof, so words can never hurt me. Sticks and stones may break my bones, yeah. But easy now, I'm bulletproof, your words can never hurt me. Look.
Another episode. This is episode 18.
18.
You have anything to go with episode 18, Jerry?
I don't. 18, just like, you can't say elite 18.
Yeah, no.
That's not how it goes.
No.
Audacious 18?
That's
College degree.
that's a reach.
That's wow.
Yeah, get a refund.
Elite is
That's a reach. That's a reach.
Get a refund for that one. See, even my mother was looking at you crazy.
Oh, we got Mom Duke's over here.
Yeah. So of course I'm your host, Pod Poppy. We have two very special guests here to help us, do this Mother's Day episode, even though it's the day after Mother's Day. We have my mom.
Hello.
So do you want to tell them a little about yourself? Plug your business.
Okay, so my name is Cheryl. I have a closet on Poshmark. I'm a reseller of gently used and new clothing items. And you can find me on Poshmark at Bandersnatch17.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Quick question. Can we call you Ma for the next hour and 15 minutes? Is
Yes,
that cool?
certainly. Fine.
Perfect. Let's make sure, because I was ready. In my notes, it was like Ma question. I was ready.
So
Yeah,
mannerful.
fine.
We like that. And then we also have, Jerry, you know what? You do the special introduction for this one, Jerry. Go ahead.
Small world. Known this person since I was like 5 years old, but didn't really know her until I was like 20. But it's one of my neighbors, elementary school, and all that good stuff. So introduce yourself.
My name is Kamzy. I am an artist. Have a production company that I just started in January, but was doing a lot of behind the scene work throughout the years. Have 2 girls, and yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Do you have a website for the production company or
Not yet. I have
Instagram?
Instagram. It's at Kamzy Productions. That's it.
All right, so
Kamzei.
I'll make sure I put the link in the bio for this episode for your closet and for
Culture Corner.
the Instagram. Yeah.
There it is right
Boom.
there. So, with the nature of this episode, I got a perfect story. And I'm sorry to have all these stories, but life is crazy.
It's been a while since we had a good Jerry story, so
This is ratchet. I'm not sure you're going to call this one a good one.
that's always the best story.
It'll be
though.
ratchet. All right. So, I'm doing my photography thing. And I have a mom hit me up. She asked me if I do newborn shoots. Find out it's in Brooklyn. I'm like, all right, cool, about to go to Brooklyn. I'm out in Brooklyn. I'm like, all right, we in affordable housing zone. I'm like, I'm still not trying to be judgmental.
Pink houses?
You
Nah,
can't
nah.
not say I'm not trying to be judgmental.
Marcy?
Just say affordable housing area.
I'm just setting the premise.
I know.
Just being honest and setting the premise.
The premise is inherently judgmental, but continue.
I mean, sorry, we offended you. My bad. Nah, but so I'm like, all right, cool. I'm at where I'm at, about to do what I gotta do. I meet the mom. The father of the baby is like an hour late. I'm like, all right, cool. Setting up, taking my time, setting up, all that good stuff. The photos, they're having fun with the photo shoot. Things are going well. All that good stuff. The ratchet part comes in. Now I'm breaking down. Usually when I break down, I make it obvious that I'm breaking down so they can know to get the money together, right? So I'm like packing my bag, like this final string. I'm like, all right, cool. These niggas really about to make me ask for the money. All right, cool. So as they know I'm about to break down, the mother asks the father, do you have that X amount of dollars? And he was like, why ain't you tell me that? Full-blown argument. Full-blown argument. So I'm like, damn, son, this crazy. So I'm like, trying to mind my business, still drag with my packing, even though I ain't got much to pack left. And they argue for like a good 2 minutes. And I'm like, yo, this is weird. First time I'm ever in this kind of situation. She grabs her wallet, just standing there. And my issue is, whether it's a miscommunication or whatever the case may be, as the dad in the situation in this shoot, she could have not told you or not miscommunicated or whatever, but she grabbed $70 out of her wallet, and that's like maybe a third of what what I'm supposed to be paid. That's all she had in her wallet. She gave me $72, so I could tell everything that she had in her
You
wallet.
getting a third of those photos I took. Fuck that.
So my whole thing is like, as a dad in that situation, you ain't got no money in your wallet. Even if you put another 20 on that, you ain't got Zelle, you ain't got Venmo, you ain't got Cash App. So it ain't about, oh, you ain't tell me. Nah, I ain't hearing that. And in today's society, you could walk out your crib with nothing. Your cell phone don't work. He had no intentions of paying. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that this is a reflection of everything, but that's crazy. That's crazy to start an argument. Oh, why ain't you tell me?
What's crazy is you're not getting your money up front.
I got my
That's
money.
what's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I got my money though. And
Mhm. You almost
I
got a
spoke
cat,
about this in
too.
the past episode. I took the pictures. All right, cool. You ain't getting them. No sweat off my back. Go
Yeah.
right back to Queens.
Jerry,
Mm-mm.
you need to. Okay, you need to get your deposits on PayPal, and your deposit need to be half of the cost of the shoot.
Obviously,
You need to go take
Obviously.
some notes.
this
'Cause
crazy.
this cannot happen again.
1,000%. I agree.
Mm-mm.
I agree, Ma. 'Cause
She
this is
upset
crazy.
for you.
Listen, it's crazy. But I got my money though. I got paid in full. So I'm not upset about that part. But when you called me on my way out of that photo shoot, so when you told me like this is about to be perfect, bring the story right into the situation. And for me, it's just like, yo, son, like when I'm talking to the father, like, yo, son, can't wait to have my baby, because the baby was in love with him. He had a daughter. The baby was in love with him. Like, she could not take her eyes off of him. So I'm like conversating like, yo, I can't wait to have mine, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, damn, you gonna go and pull that?
Yeah, she gonna love with him till he don't got that field trip money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fact. So if you ain't got the money for the sandwich, listen. Nah, but it was crazy though.
Mm.
You're right. That's ratchet. That's some trifling
It's
nonsense.
ratchet, right? That's classified ratchet, right? That's classified
That's
ratchet.
like a mild ratchet.
It is mild.
That was
It's
mild.
Not for nothing, you should have had deposit.
All right, cool.
That situation
Noted.
would've-
Listen. Now if I'm doing it, y'all know why. Any future clients hit me up, y'all know why I have to do this.
And you're
Crazy.
gonna need a contract.
Obviously.
You could let them know you had this experience, and that's why this is how you move.
But
Or
like
don't even let them know.
for
That's
like
just what you do.
for this situation, it was like, small shoot, 2 hours. I usually do contracts for like bigger events, sweet 16s, weddings, where it's like real money, So I didn't think, for me, it's like, all right, cool, go in, get out real quick.
Nigga, you went
Right.
to the projects to take to have a photo shoot. What you
You're
thought it was gonna be?
Did you
Yeah.
not use
He
good?
probably was on the stoop slinging some dope, and it was a slow day.
Mm-hmm.
So he came back in here like, I don't got it.
So when you do this, you take your own background with you.
Mhm.
You set up your own background.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring the whole setup.
Okay.
Mobile.
So as you guys being single mothers, you raising 4 kids, you raising 2 kids currently. How would you guys have handled that situation as like the mother? Would you have had that money already would you have had the money already and not even thought about asking for it, just paid for it?
That's what I would have done.
If either with your idea, is that how it goes? If it's your idea, then you're ready to take that financial step with it.
No. It doesn't go like that. It doesn't make a difference whose idea it is.
Mm.
I'm not going to be embarrassed
Mm-hmm.
by your nonsense.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you a new asshole later after the person leave, but I'm not going to be embarrassed like that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think for me, so me and my boyfriend, which is my daughter's dad also, we communicate a lot about everything. I'm usually the one that wants to do like photo shoots, and because I have a production company. But usually we don't really have like the who's going to pay for it. We look at it as this is the family's money. So it's like, if I don't have it, he'll do it, or if he does it. But usually, we have it. So that would be weird. Like, I wouldn't book it and be like, how are we going to pay for it once the person already did everything? Like,
Thank you.
Well,
Appreciate you.
I agree with what she's saying. However, I think that only works under 2 circumstances. Number 1, communication is good.
Right.
And number 2, you all are you have the finances. You know what I mean? To me, that's something like maybe they don't have the finances for that.
I mean,
He could have been, stressed, like, I didn't want to do this, and now you're asking me for the money. He could have been like, I got bills to pay, and you wanted to do this, Look
Right.
at their situation where they're living,
Right.
not for nothing,
Right.
But-
And it's expensive to live in the projects. I have a friend who lives in the projects. She lives in Woodside houses. and her rent is like $1,800 a month. I was
I believe
shocked.
it. I believe it.
I was shocked
Damn.
because I remember back in the day, if you lived in projects, your rent was cheap.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
was like $600 or less. $1,800 a month to live in the projects where your heat is jacked up, the building is jacked up, the apartment, you got leaks, you got this, no.
tough.
Mm-mm.
You heard it from moms. Get your money up front, Playboy.
Yeah. Notes. Listen, Pops asked me if I want to take notes. I'm taking notes. Listen,
Or
I'm taking
you
notes.
It's gonna be a
Notes.
gem drop over here. All right.
About to be a lot of gems.
You're gonna have
Gem
to get
heavy.
like a bodyguard or a piece because you can't. You gotta get your money.
Yeah,
That
man.
was wild.
You need an entourage. You didn't
It's
troop
like-
all the way to the hood in the hood, and
You
then
know,
you ain't nah.
You could have got kidnapped, fucked up, and tossed outside, and no one would have known.
I can
Over
hold my
photos?
like son. I'm from Hollis. I'm from. You know, I can hold my own.
Yeah, but you went to somebody else's hood though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been all right.
You need a little. Every cameraman has an entourage. You ever noticed that?
Do they?
Yes. You ever been to a party? I'm sure you've seen those
They have an
parties.
assistant.
They
would
have an
call them
entourage. It'd be like 50 of them, and there's only one person taking the photos. Same thing with the DJs.
Maybe 3. The
And I
DJs have entourages. DJs have I want to go on a break. They got the side DJ. You know, they got all of that. They got the pre-DJ.
You need
They
a
got
side
all of that.
photographer. You need a money collector.
Listen,
You
I
need a
can
Debo.
understand.
But for a photo shoot, though, like,
I can understand why photographers have somebody with them, because to set all of this up,
yeah,
after you finish setting this up, and I know because I used to set these things up to take my photographs, I ain't feel like doing no photographs after setting this stuff
Yeah.
up.
yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
all a
you
part of it.
definitely need somebody to.
But that's a part of why you got to charge the big bucks. Like
Right.
I already told them, if I'm coming to you, it's this much, like 30% more. If you're coming to me, 30% less. Make up your choice. All right, you gonna pay me to come? All right, cool, no problem. You're paying for me to set up and everything like that.
And they try to give you 1/3.
That's I mean, yeah,
But that's that ghetto mentality. You know, people be trying to get over. Instead of trying to support the next black person, they always looking, to get over. Especially relatives. They always looking to get over, looking for the family discount and all of this.
that's
The
why.
hell with that.
That's why all
The
black
hell with
business,
that.
all black business ain't good business. We gotta treat each other well. Like
Exactly, and
I
we
agree.
don't.
Yeah, we talked about this on past episodes before. Like when we try out different new black businesses, it's all about the customer service. If it's bad customer service, I'm not going back. Like I gave you the try because you were black, but you just didn't keep my business. And that's with anything. If you can't provide the customer service, you're not going to keep my money.
Right.
so Ma, I have a question. Now that you're in your phase of life where you get to choose how you spend your time and you're doing your business thing, how is that in comparison to working for someone else?
Much better. Because, like you said, you get to choose how to spend your time. As far as Poshmark goes, there are people who make 6 figures selling on Poshmark. I'm not one of them.
Not yet.
Okay, because
Even if she was, she wouldn't tell us.
I'm not one of them because I choose not to be one of them. Oh, okay. Because I choose not to. Those people, they go at it hard. They go at it 7 days a week. They're up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They don't go to bed till midnight. That's not me. I have other things to do. But those are also people who use it to pay their bills.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need it to pay my bills.
Mm.
So for me, it's kind of like a hobby. It's a fun thing. Yeah, I enjoy making the money, but I'm not going to stress myself out about it. So working for yourself is much better.
So on the flip side, Cam, you're taking this step earlier on in life. How was that, taking that step earlier on, doing your entrepreneurial thing from pretty much from the beginning of your children's lives?
It's scary. It's scary because I have 2 kids now. So it's like if I would have done it before I had kids, I'd probably be straight. But now that I'm trying to do it, and I'm doing it with the purpose of trying to teach my kids they could do anything they want, I don't want them to think that they have to work for somebody to be successful in just the world in general. So, and I also want to give them something where it's like, if they don't know what to do, they can come work with mommy at her production company and stuff like that, and not stress about life because it's hard. Like growing up, it was hard for us, like
Yeah.
just deciphering where we want to be in life, who we are, all those things. And then your surrounding just telling you you're this, and it's not really it's not really that. And I just kind of want to give them less stress in this world where they're going to feel a lot. And that's really why I do this. But it's scary. Like every day, just the doubts. And because this is my 9 to 5 too. So it's just like, I just got to keep going regardless of what's going around.
That's dope.
You know, there's a lot of things I hate about millennials, and present company is not excluded. All y'all's included. There's a lot of things
She about to
I
fire
hate
them
about
shots.
millennials.
She about to fire them shots.
However, the thing I like about millennials is that you are trying to teach your children about financial things.
Yep.
Okay, that is something that my generation didn't do. We had to figure it out. Our parents, they weren't telling us about having to pay this, having to pay that. It was mind your business, keep out of grown folks' business.
Yeah.
Finances was considered grown folks' business.
So they go put that cable bill in your name.
So we didn't know anything about it. We had to figure it out on our own. So when we raised our kids, we didn't talk to them about it either. But I like the fact that the millennials, the Gen Zs will do it, the alphas will do it. I like that. That's a good thing.
Dope.
Yeah, she's big on. She knows all those generations. I was lost after millennial. The alphas. I didn't know that was. That's the newest one.
The alphas are the newest ones.
Is that what Ariel is?
Ariel is. Let me see. You're a millennial. Gary and them are Gen X.
I think she's
Ariel is.
Really knows it.
Ariel is Gen Z.
Okay.
It's the little kids.
Yeah, them Gen Zs is crazy. Okay.
those ones that do not know the world without technology and
Well,
internet and all that kind of
the
Facebook.
Gen Z doesn't know the world without any of that either.
millennials.
No, we do.
Millennials, y'all were like when
Going
it
to
was first
50.
right,
Yeah.
when it was first starting.
I remember I still had a TV with an antenna. I had to switch that whenever the stations got
I
bored.
remember
did.
having my dad's beeper, like when I would play
Yeah.
outside. he'd give
I
me
remember
his
that.
beeper, call me, and I would have to come upstairs. I'm like, I thought it was so cool.
Right.
I remember taking beepers to school, getting in trouble for it. Something crazy. Because
How many beepers you had?
Because my dad used to drive a cab,
Oh,
so
okay.
a lot of beepers got left behind. So when I said like he
Oh,
had this
wow.
one joint, it was like a see-through blue joint. I'm like, yo, this is mine. You don't want this. Whoop. Took it to school. It went off in the middle of class. Got in trouble for it. My dad was livid. Kindergarten.
Who's beeping you? You're like 2 years old.
Kindergarten. He
Because
said.
What the?
because it was from the cab. Whoever was calling that individual left it in the cab.
Okay, about
You
to
know.
say.
Me too.
You was out here sliding your numbers in second grade. You wildin'.
Nah, but we
Yeah, BB call me.
we seen a lot of things. We seen beepers, we seen two-way pages, we seen sidekicks, we seen a lot of technology.
Mm-hmm.
Rotary phones.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
son. That was back when I was living in Brooklyn, like 3-4 years old, just
That
out
shit don't
here.
make no sense.
Out here. Now we touching screens now.
That shit don't make no sense.
Do you remember AOL started out
Yeah, absolutely. And my mom would try to be on the phone when I'm trying to go on the internet.
the phone.
I'm like, damn.
Oh my
son.
gosh, that's hilarious.
I remember when there was only one phone company.
Bell Atlantic. What was that?
That's what it was.
Bell. Look, I
Bell
remember.
Atlantic is one phone company.
I remember.
And the government said, y'all are a
Monopoly.
monopoly, and we splitting this stuff up. So that's how you ended up with Sprint and this and that, all the different ones.
Dope.
So I have a question. You guys are you've raised kids already in one generation. You're currently raising kids in a different generation. You have grandkids who were raised in the same generation. Would you would you want to raise kids in this generation now, or do you like the generation that you raise your kids in?
I like the generation that I raised my kids in for the simple fact that it was easier. Because now with all this technology, I mean, whatever issues you had raising kids without the technology, now you got the technology on top of it.
Mm.
And I'm talking about the kids are texting each other. They're being mean on there. This one is affecting them mentally. Stuff like that. We didn't have to deal with.
We just
none
had
of that
real life
stuff.
bullying. We didn't have cyberbullying.
Yeah, we had
Exactly.
in-person bullying.
Exactly. If
Once we went
somebody was
home,
going to
good.
kick your ass, they didn't text you to tell you. They just waited outside for you and did it.
At least that
tried
was
to
somewhat
do it.
avoidable. That
You
was
know?
avoidable.
Just leave out the back door.
So Cam, on the flip side, how do you feel about raising kids in this generation? Would you prefer to raise it in the generation that we grew up in?
I don't even know how to answer that. I think I would leave them in this generation. I think I feel like it's easier due to the fact that we have so much more knowledge. Yes, it is harder, but we have to keep a balance between technology. Like we have times where, my kids will watch TV or they'll have YouTube kids, and then after that it's toys or we're outside. And I like doing a lot of like being in nature with them. So I think it's a balance, and it is scary because once they start going to school, they'll be more on the computer and stuff. And then there's cyberbullying and then real life bullying. And then, their mental stability is just at risk at that point. So it is scary, but I think there is a lot of knowledge out there where we can teach them or just show them things like that we can't really
Right, and
explain to them.
And they have access to it with you or without you.
Right. And that's another thing. I think people really need to have parental control over what their kids watch. Like I have my kids, they have YouTube Kids, and I have it strictly to their age. Like there's nothing that they can watch 18 plus at all. Like strictly to their age. But even then there's things that, slide in through the cracks. So you just really have to be aware. Like you can't be on your cell phone like this and completely ignoring like technology is not the babysitter, which is what a lot of people do.
That is what a lot of people do now.
Right. So you can't I'll sit there and I'll watch it with them. If we're going to be doing this, I'm watching it with them. Or I'm putting a 90s film cartoon that we used to watch.
Classic.
101 Dalmatians.
Toy
things
Story.
like that. Yeah, Toy Story.
Mhm.
But yeah.
That's dope.
I think, keep it in this.
It's harder now for parents. They have to be more involved.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that, okay, I'm a boomer. My parents were from what they call the greatest generation. Okay, they won World War II. They helped the United States. They, okay, so they're the greatest generation. I'm a boomer. My kids, millennials now. I mean, not millennials, Gen Z now. Gen X? Gen X. Gen X.
Gen X, yeah. Gen X.
X.
The millennials, yeah.
They were latchkey kids. They more or less raised themselves to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
Because
the boomers were at work.
The boomers were at work. Yeah. The kids, who could afford to pay a babysitter? Mm-hmm. Maybe these people, but not these people. Okay. And when your kids got a certain age, you just gave them a key. Tell them to go in the house, lock the door, call me when you get in and pray. So it's a lot easier now. And I think that your generation spends more time with their children because we were all about work, make the money. Now you guys are not about that. To me, you're more about your generation and the previous one, Gen X, are more about doing what makes you happy. Mm-hmm. Not having a job just for the sake of making the money, doing what makes you happy. And my oldest son, his brother, he can attest to that. It was a joke in my family for a long time. My oldest son went to college in Pennsylvania. He graduated from Wilkes University. His 4 years cost $50,000. So that was back in the day. Mm-hmm. $50,000 for the whole 4 years. He graduated from college and decided to be a singer in a band. Oh. So the joke in my family was that $50,000 education. Yeah.
It's just on the table right now. That's
exactly.
Crazy. But like one point you was bringing up earlier is like, I do agree with like,
is he successful?
No.
Oh,
not as a singer.
Okay,
not as a singer.
Wait.
And another aspect of his life.
Wait.
Right.
He was in that band for 14 years. Okay. And then the band members started getting married and their wives made them cut it out.
It wasn't Jagged Edge. It wasn't bringing in the bacon to stay in the band. Yeah. So they had to go bring in that bacon another way.
Cut your hair off and get a job.
But I love how you brought up how like, you could leave your kids at home or like, I feel like on the flip side, you could let your kids go outside, like outside was safer, like we hearing about so much stuff happening in the street now. Whereas, when we were kids and even younger, you could go outside, come back when the street lights are on. That's like our generation and previous.
Yeah.
This generation ain't doing that. They're like, yo, I'm at the crib. We going home. We're gonna just be online. That's
Yeah,
it.
they don't leave the house.
But that's on like the technology side and also on the safety side, because I'm not sure if we're more aware of the dangers of the world, or there actually are more like dangers out there.
I think it's both. I think
Yeah.
there's more dangers out there, and we're more aware because in my generation and our kids, we only had the media, and the media was only print and radio. That's it. We didn't have no internet and all of that, Twitter and all of that stuff. So whatever crimes were going on, if the media didn't tell you about it, you didn't hear about it.
Right. So like as society advances, the ways to commit crime advances. So in raising kids, when we grew up, it was don't take no candy from no strangers. Don't go nowhere with no strangers. Don't get in that van. All right. So
Stranger danger.
Yeah.
All across the board.
But now you have these people online pretending to be kids, meeting up with kids. Then you go there, they're not kids, they're adults. There's so many different dangers for kids. And it's crazy because like you said, there's more dangers, but also there's still more security because we didn't have find your iPhone. Like your parents, you couldn't share your location with your parents at all times. You just had to tell them where you was going. They had to hope you was really there when you said you was going to be.
And you probably wasn't.
No, yeah. But now we have all of these other things, and we're even more worried about where our kids are, what they're doing. Like, are they okay?
Yeah, because fear's at an all-time high. As all those things got better, fear also got worse.
I do feel like that's a part of media, though, because I feel like media perpetuates fear. Like,
Yes, it does.
with news, that's what gets the ratings. It's either drama or things that instill fear. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it took me all about 15 minutes to find out about what happened in Fresh Meadows with that shooting. It took me all of like 10 minutes to find out what happened on the train in Brooklyn. Like fear sells. People want to tune in for fear. So
Yeah, in media, they have a saying: if it bleeds, it leads.
There it is, right there.
So they don't really want to report something good unless they actually, and they call that fluff. Anything that's a story that's not violent and what have you, they call it fluff. And those are the stories they use to fill in when they have extra time. Oh, let's just throw some fluff in there.
Yeah, some feel good stuff.
Yeah, some feel good stuff.
So
Hold on. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, just want to wish y'all a happy Mother's Day belated.
Yes, happy belated
Thank
Mother's
you.
Day.
Recognize we ain't crossed that border yet.
I talk about this with my mother all the time, and I told her I was gonna ask because it's a child support question, right? There are a lot of girls out there, a lot of women who have kids who have this, I don't know, phobia of putting a nigga on child support when he deserves to be on child support, or they have this like, if I do that, then he won't spend time with the kids, or it's just, I don't know. I don't understand the logic, but I want to weigh in. I want my mother to weigh in on it, and because she's a strong advocate of putting niggas on child support.
I always say that I am a veteran of the child support wars, and I am. And one of my relatives, because I'm not even going to say which relative, but one of my relatives, I was never so proud of that relative as the day she put her baby, the day she served her baby daddy with that child support order. Now, that's terrible. But I was like, dag, because she had to go out of state to do it. And she did.
Well, she went the extra step. She did make sure she got.
Yeah, she got her girl, and her girl was like, should I bring my mace? And I was like, Dad, what y'all gonna serve the man and mace him at the same time?
You better take
Might
these
have
papers.
to. Might have to.
Fuck getting a process server. They want to do it themselves. They want to see the look on the nigga face.
Look at his eyes.
I done
And then make
you.
Yeah, so I was like proud of her. She had to go out of New York State and go to the state where he was to do that. But yeah, I retired from the city of New York. I was a case manager for welfare. And when you apply for welfare and you have children, welfare want to know where the baby daddy is. Not so much where he is, because child support enforcement will ask you where he is. But I'm going to ask you who he is. What is his name? And do you have an address for him? Does he work? And this, that, and the third. Because in New York State, there's two things about child support. For one child, it's 17% of your gross
Income.
yearly salary.
Mm.
And gross, everybody knows that's before taxes and everything. 2 children is 25%. 3 children is 29%. 4 children is 31%. And I went online to check it and make sure I was correct. So it hasn't changed in years. But
So the rate has been set since you were back
yeah.
there serving niggas.
With mace.
Yes.
What was
Yes,
the,
it
what
hasn't
was the
changed.
highest percentage you ever had to serve?
No, I didn't serve anybody, but I'm just saying that the highest percentage was for 4 kids is 31% of your salary. Gross. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of goddamn money.
That's a lot of
I
money.
didn't go from 29 to 41.
Stop nothing.
31.
31.
31.
Oh, I thought
For
you said
4
41.
children,
4 children.
31%.
So, like,
So-
what do you think it is about like this generation of women that's scared to go and just do it? Like, why do you sit there and struggle?
I don't think that they're afraid. I think it's 2 things. Either one, they want the person back in their life, and they feel that if they do that, the person will never come back and be with them. Or number 2, they want to show the person that they can do it all themselves.
Mm.
Okay, and I have to say, me personally, myself, I suffered from that initially. But then I got over it and I just went the child support route, and
I
that
think
was it.
She was the Byron before the Tyler Perry movie. Run me my money, Byron. Nah.
And it's, and then it's the other thing where, he takes care of his kids. And I'm like, well, okay, what do you mean by that? Oh, he buys him sneakers, he buys him this, he buys him that. I said, well, you know what? Sometimes the child just needs $10 to pay for a school trip. You know what I'm saying? That. And then the other thing is, and women know this, I don't know how you all feel about it, but men try to control women with money sometimes. And they may be loving you today and they're paying child support voluntarily and they're loving you today, but if they get mad at you, they're gonna stop. But guess what? Your kids still need stuff.
Yeah, that's not your ex partner. That's your child. That you have to worry
Exactly.
about.
It's the security of knowing that they have to.
And the other thing is that as far as child support is concerned, a man he can never set foot in court and he can pay voluntarily, which is, I would say, the ideal thing to do. But when it gets to a point where they're not paying voluntarily, and then the woman has to go into court, that's where the problem arises.
That's when they smoke you.
That's where the problem arises because nobody wants to have the government tell them you have to do X, Y, and Z. And if you don't do it and your arrears build up, we're going to take this from you, your licenses and all that. Nope, nobody wants that. But just, I don't know. I guess some people are just not disciplined enough to work it out where they'll just pay it voluntarily. I don't know.
So, and I feel like for the first one, the ones that's afraid, like, no, the kid's not gonna be, the father's not gonna be in the child's life. I mean, if the dad don't want to be in the child's life, he ain't gonna do it. So child support ain't gonna change the daggone thing. Stop making excuses for the guy, give him child support. But I have a co-parenting question for both of you guys. So how does co-parenting change a relationship? So Cam, you were with your boyfriend, you have 2 kids now. How has it changed from before? Like, besides the obvious, you got obviously 2 more life partners added to the party. But how does co-parenting change the relationship? Because we have the basic relationships where we communicate, miss the mark, this, that, and the third, but now there's more responsibility. How does it change?
So it's changed, and like we learn a lot about ourselves by watching them because they literally do what we do, you know? Like if I'm walking around like frustrated or in my head, there's times where I'll look at them and I'm just like I'll go to them like, are you okay? Like they might not understand, you know, or like comprehend why I'm asking or stuff like that. But I'll see like one is just playing by themselves in the room. It's just like, you know, why aren't you playing with your sister? Or like, you know, it's like maybe I'm giving them that energy to where they're now you know,
Picking up the
yeah, picking
mannerism.
up those behaviors. And like we're very like conscious of just what we do. Like if we're frustrated or if we have a little argument or whatever, it's like try not to have it in front of the kids, or like if we do have it, calm down. Like I want it to be very realistic. I don't want them to think that everything is fairy tale, you know, fairy tale-ish, and mommy and daddies don't argue, because they do. The what I really want to get through to them is just communication, you know, like you got to communicate, whether you argue and you're fighting, it's communication, you know, like anything and everything. I feel like if you communicate with your kid, it'll be easier, even with your partner. Like they'll feel okay opening up to you, telling you things you don't want to hear and other stuff like that. So that's changed completely, the communication part. And then aside from, we are exhausted all the time. Date nights barely happen. Like, you know, those things have to be like, yo, like let's go out on a date. Let's drop them off at my parents and stuff like that. And then we go out and we're like, like 10, like we don't do anything. We go get a massage, grab food, and we're out like just knocked out. So like a lot of things have changed, but the biggest one I would say is communication. Even how I communicate to other people, I try to like be more there and like feeling to people, if that makes sense, only because I wanted to reciprocate into how I treat my children as well.
Interesting.
And just, yeah, I think that
How about you, Mom?
biggest.
I think that co-parenting is a delicate balance, and you find out things about your partner and they find out things about you, such as you were raised this way and I was raised this way.
Oh yeah.
In my house we did this, in my house we did that. And I don't like the way they did stuff in your house. I don't like the way they, you know. So it's a delicate balance, and you have to choose your battles carefully.
Oh yes.
You have to choose your battles carefully. And I'm going to give you an example.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know how
This
my
one
husband
go hit home.
It
Huh?
don't matter.
I don't know how my husband's going to feel
Sorry,
about this.
we
but-
offended you.
We here for it.
Okay, so I grew up in a household. There were 5 kids and 2 parents. Okay. My parents both worked, but they wasn't about wasting money and leaving lights on. What? Oh, hell no.
Listen, you preaching to the choir right now.
You wasting their electricity? You walked out of the room and you left a light on?
Yeah, you gonna snap that immediately.
What? So that's how I was brought up, and that's the shit I was on. Okay, that's the shit I was on. My husband, on the other hand, no. Sleep with the lights on. I mean, sleep with the TV on, leave the lights on, and all of that stuff, right? So I think we might have had, I'm not even gonna say we had a discussion about it. we had an argument about it, and when the argument got too hot, I decided, okay, I'm gonna back off. You want to let them leave every light in the house on? Go ahead. But guess what?
When that bill come,
It has come back to bite him later in life.
listen.
Okay.
I know. Like,
Listen.
I was like, for me, I was growing in that kind of household. Turn off all the lights. See, if you ain't in the room don't need a light. Turn off the light. Joy, on the other hand, vanity, top light, lamp, kitchen light, stove light, TV. I'm like, yo, son, come.
See, like,
And I have to ask you, I have to be polite about it. Are you using the light in the bathroom?
are we related to Con Edison?
Do we got that plug?
I remember this. I remember growing up like this, like turn off the lights, turn off the lights, turn off the lights. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a TV person. Like I sleep with the TV on, but I will try my best to turn off the lights in my room and my TV before I leave. Like I'm like, if I'm going crazy, I'm running out of the house quick, then it's gonna be on. But 9 times out of 10, I do it. But this nigga and my sister, her lights be on, her TV be on, her alarm clock be going off.
And she
Like,
be asleep.
she don't even be here sometimes. I be like, yo, there's a person in there. Everything on like a person is there, and nobody in the room. But yeah,
I mean,
that's
if they're growing up, that's how it is. It's interesting because like, so how do you settle the differences in how you brought up with parenting? Because I know that my cousin, he has 2 babies now, and their biggest arguments about what they believe is to be the right thing to instill in your kids in terms of like lifestyle. How do you guys bring that balance into like, all right, cool, that's a good way of doing it. Like what lifestyle goes for the kids?
So my kid's father is Chinese, right? So completely different from me.
I thought he was Filipino.
damn.
No, Chinese.
He got swag to him. I'm like, I thought he was Filipino. Like,
He's completely different from me, like brought up straight Chinese. So moving in with him was very like, it was a culture shock. I feel like, I don't know, Black America, I don't know, like I feel like we're pretty basic and like, we have what we need and stuff, but with him I feel like it's just a lot extra. It's just stuff that I am not used to. Like it's
I have a
Unnecessary.
question, not to cut you off though. Did you move in with him and his parents?
So I moved in. So his mom wasn't living with him at the time when we were, together. But then she came back and she moved in, and then
And how was that?
that was the culture shock because
Yeah.
she doesn't speak English, and I'm now trying to speak to her, and I'm pregnant, and we're coexisting in a place where
With no
like,
communication.
right. So like I had to learn to like kind of speak. I don't want to sound rude, but like kind of speak to like a child a little bit that doesn't really know how to, like
communicating the most basic of terms.
right, exactly.
hands.
So and she'll do the same thing, and then I'm picking up on stuff even now, but like we're living with her because we have 2 kids and we have our own businesses, so it's like I'd rather someone that we know take care and watch our
nurture.
child, right, rather than someone I don't know. So we pay her to do that. She watches them, but like the way she cleans, like down to the way she cleans things, it's like, or like how I do things, and she'll like watch me, and just be like that, and I'm just like, it makes me anxious, and I would have conversations with him like, why is she gotta be behind me, blah blah blah, like it would piss me off. I had to go for walks and stuff, and then it's like even down to like the kids, like bundling them up, and I'm like, it's hot in here, and then like we're going back and forth, and then I feel bad because he has to keep the peace, because he can communicate to her, I can't. And it was a lot of that. But like now I'm just learning, if it's not killing the kids, why are you stressing about it? You know what I mean? It's out of the kindness of her heart, even if I think it's OD, overwhelming, like what you're doing too much. It's not harming them, it's not hurting them. I understand it's nothing malicious, there's no malicious intent. So it's like I have to walk away and calm down sometimes, because it's like I'm not used to doing certain things and she does it differently. But that's where I'm at with it. Like she said, you pick your battles. Everything's not a battle. And sometimes it's hard because it's like, I don't do things like that, so I'm gonna I want it to be done my way. These are my kids and stuff like that. But if you realize it's not malicious, it's like, you know what? Okay,
You are so evolved. You are so evolved because
This one's a fighter.
when I was your age,
Okay.
I had 2 mother-in-laws that hated me. And they hated me, and that was the foundation of their friendship between the 2 of them. That's what they had in common.
They bonded over that.
They bonded over that. They
That's
hated
so
me.
petty.
Okay.
Listen, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay.
One of them was very, the first one was she was very controlling. And I'll give you an example. When I was pregnant, I don't know how you girls do it these days, but back in the day, when you got pregnant, you got around 8 months, you would go to pick out your furniture, the crib and all that stuff, and put it on layaway, because you considered it bad luck to buy it before the baby was born.
Yeah, I've heard that.
All right, so I did that. I put everything on, picked out stuff, put it on layaway. went into labor, went into the hospital, gave the baby daddy the receipt
Mhm.
to get the furniture and all the stuff. So I come home from the hospital. This is completely different furniture and everything. Stuff. This woman
Damn,
This
son.
woman had went to the store,
That's
decided
crazy.
she didn't like what I picked out, and picked out some other stuff.
That's crazy.
So she was controlling like that. So her and I did not.
That's wild.
Mesh.
We didn't mesh
Clearly.
at all.
That's
Oh my
wild.
God.
That's
That's
That's back in the
and
day
problematic.
shit.
that's just one example.
That's
She didn't-
problematic.
when I tell you this woman hated me, she didn't like she didn't like nothing about me. So it just went from there downhill. So as a mother-in-law, I just try to mind my business.
No, she don't.
Yes, I do.
No, she don't.
I be trying to mind my business.
Try
I'm not
it,
try
try
to
it.
get
Behind the
if
scenes,
nobody's
dance, puppet, dance.
That is not true.
It's okay.
Oh,
I'll
God.
probably be doing the same
But I
thing.
wasn't as evolved as she is because I would go toe to toe, head to head, and mouth to mouth with this lady.
But from what I see though in both the stories is that I know who you're talking about, obviously, but their families were still a part of their lives. Now it seems like the baby mother, the child's mother, gets into it with the grandmother. They cutting ties now. The grandmother don't want to see the kids, don't want nothing to do with none of them.
Yeah, it's
And I
happening.
look at it, I'm just like, you the reason your son ain't shit too. But my coworker was just telling me about it. Her child went to see the father, went with the grandmother. Grandmother's giving her shit. She's like, yo, your child doesn't pay for anything. All you have to do is watch your grandchild like 1 week because you want to go somewhere with them. Like, what's the problem? Like, I just don't get that. I don't get how. I don't know. I don't understand people sometimes.
I
Like,
be done told her ass off.
I don't know.
That's just me though.
So that being said, that's a question of values. So what are some key values that you as mothers made sure that your children carried? Like, was that a thought process for you guys? Like, yo, I want to make sure my children go out into the world knowing this.
Well, for me, I always valued independence. His older siblings, his older brother started doing his laundry when he was 9 years old, and he taught his older sister who was 6 because mommy had to work. I had to work. I didn't have time to be
I think that's really dope, though.
hanging around doing laundry on Saturdays, because on Saturdays I want to do stuff with the kids. I didn't want to have to be stuck in some hot laundromat doing laundry. And at one point I even tried getting a laundry service that came to pick up the laundry. That was $60 a week. I couldn't afford it. I mean, I did it for as long as I could, and I was like, these kids gonna have to do their own laundry.
I think that's dope because, like, for me, as soon as you're tall enough to do dishes, you're doing dishes. Once you could reach the faucet, you're doing dishes.
So I say all of this. This is funny you ask this question because my mother was big on instilling those certain values with us. Like, we learned how to do our laundry, not at that age, but we did learn how to do our laundry, started doing our own laundry. She's very big on like freedom and doing other things. People don't see it now because all they see is the party side of this nigga. He's controlling, don't want me to go nowhere. Like 7 o'clock before the street lights even come on, you got to be home. I'm sitting on my terrace watching all the little kids run past. I'm inside, broad daylight. Can't go nowhere.
They're laughing at you.
They laughing at me. Dad, come outside. I'm like, a kid.
So
Yeah.
It's dark out.
when I was growing up, my mom like ruled the household. So my mom was super overprotective. And on top of that, she wants you to know how to do your laundry, but then she ain't want you doing your own laundry. Then you're gonna mess it up. I'm gonna teach you how to do it, but you're gonna mess it up. Don't do it. I got it. Don't do the dishes. You're gonna use too much water. I got it. You're gonna use too much soap. I'm gonna do it. You're gonna know it. Like, it was
She
just
had
like,
a lot of energy. God bless.
Yeah, no, my mother.
I didn't know how she did it. She worked 40 hours a week, come home, cook fresh meals like 3 to 4 times a week.
I feel like your mom only has boys.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like Haitian women treat their sons like kings. Like,
Yeah.
they do everything for their sons.
Hispanic
It's
women
just-
also.
Yeah, they do.
But I feel like on the flip side, she'll be mad at us because she wants to do all these things. You come. No one makes you cook 3-4 times a week. You come home and you do. Like no one asks you to do these things. So she complains
Well,
about doing it.
You don't ask. It's not like y'all out there like she coming home and the meal's already
Son,
made.
there is no way I'm gonna be at the stove when my mom gets home, son. I'm gonna be yelled at. Like even in high school, I was gonna get yelled at, son. Like
Should have
there's
took
no
that
way.
yelling. Should have came one time to make that meal.
Even to this
And see
day,
if it switches.
this weekend we did a potluck style. Like my mom be cooking for her own birthday and all of our birthdays, right? So this time we took her out of her element. We went to my brother's apartment and we did potluck where each of us cooked, but her. So she was like, I don't want to eat nobody's food.
Oh, yeah, she telling you y'all should don't be on point. Yeah, don't be on point.
But like, well, my mom, that's her love language. You get what I'm saying? Like cooking's her love language. That's how she say I love you. You know? So, but she said my chicken was on point though. She said it was good. You like, yeah.
I be telling my mother all the time. I'm like, put some love in your food.
Yeah, man. I mean,
My mother, she cook with efficiency. As long as it's edible.
Well, you have to know, I used to cook dinner for 7 people from the time I was 11 years old.
Yeah, sometimes
I ain't got to do that no more, so I ain't doing it.
I mean, Don's nice on the grill, so you good.
I'm nice in the kitchen in general.
Yeah,
you know, so you good.
I'm nice in the kitchen in general.
But Cam, how about some values you're planning to make sure that your little ones have?
I think the independency is definitely one because, you know, they're females, they're going to be women when they get older. I don't want them to always depend on mommy and daddy, but I do want them to also have that balance of letting someone else help them because I know in relationships, you can't be so independent to where you're pushing the other person away because, you know, you're not letting them feel like whether you're dating a man or what you want to date, but, you know, you're not letting them feel needed. And that's very important. It's like my relationship with their dad. There's a lot of things that I want to do because my mom instilled the independency with me. But then because I only have brothers, I understand how important it is for them to feel needed and feel like they need to be a man, you know, do manly things. Like, so I do let him like take control sometimes when I'm just like, you know, biting, like I want to do this, but I'm just like, you know what, go ahead, you know, you got this. But, you know, it's that balance of being okay with letting someone take the lead, but also having your own and not letting anyone like shut your mind down. You know what I mean? Like stop you from.
But you know what else comes along with that? Sometimes you don't need sometimes you need people. How can I put this? Sometimes the way a person needs you to need them is not the way that you
need. Like,
right. You know, so sometimes even you have to, even though you don't, they think that they're doing something that you need, and you're saying, I don't need you to do this. But sometimes you just have to let that go, you know what I mean? And just let them go ahead and do it.
Yeah, but like I feel like, you know, we was talking about this before. Like, you know, there are certain things that are healthy in some contexts, and in others it can be toxic. Like, you know, as Black men, we're taught to be very, very dependent. And in a relationship, that doesn't work all the time. At least there are going to be times where it's better to be vulnerable. You know, like we're taught to be dependent. We deal with our emotions.
You mean independent?
Independent. My bad.
About to say.
My bad.
Not the right
Woo,
word.
that's crazy. Damn, my bad. Independent. So like, you know, especially when it, like, for example, when it comes to our emotions, we bottle stuff in and we try to deal with it on our own. And in a relationship, that doesn't work because those emotions that you bottled up spill out in other different types of ways. Then it leads to misunderstanding, miscommunication, all these kind of things. So, you know, certain things have to be in context in order to be healthy. So it's dope that you're teaching that. That's dope.
Yeah. I was telling my mother, like, she's always been really big on mental health and people seeking help in those areas. Do you believe in those same values? Like, do you have like the same belief in mental health for your kids and things like that? Like,
yeah, definitely. I think even now in this time, it's mental health is just at the lowest like it's been, I think, since the 90s, probably since our generation, since, you know, like, yeah, like I would say early 90s. But I think they more so now need help with like how to handle technology and all the information they're receiving at once. It's like freaking getting cocaine straight into your eyes. Like think about it, like all the information a child, like
Yeah,
we
sensory
were not,
overload.
yeah, like we weren't getting as much information that they get today. Like just they're talking way faster than they were, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Watching these cartoons, and they're picking up the sounds and things they're saying. So dang, I lost my train of thought just now. But I think it's yeah, I lost my train of thought. Wow.
What was the original question?
The original. Now let's
Mental health. It was
Yeah.
about
Oh, yeah,
mental
the
health.
original- yeah.
So yeah, I think it's very important to pay attention to that. I'm very like when I'm home or at a certain time, like I'm not doing no work, not answering any clients, you know, calls, texts, none of that. It's strictly like me and my girls, like we're playing, watching TV, eating, doing those things. So I'm very like,
Hands on.
yeah, hands on, and I cut off like work. I don't bring work home. I'm straight with them, like talking about like how was your day? How are you? They're 1 and 2 there, you know. It was good. The other one, like you know, like so. But I still ask that so that it becomes a habit for me, and then them like to just ask, "How are you?" You know, going to grandma's, "Hey, how was your day?" You know, just those things. So, and that it's very important though, just to ask that to see where someone's mental is at that moment.
And we didn't we out of pocket this whole episode right now because we didn't ask each other how we doing. So let's ask the table. I'm Don. Ask the table how we doing.
Scale of -5 to 5.
The scale of -5 to 5 because you could be negative, like you could have a really bad on the negative side. You could be less than okay. Positive side is better. So -5 to 5.
I'm at like a 2.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, I'm at a 2.
So we regress a little bit from last episode.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Then, but I'm okay though. I'm at like a 2 though.
but you
A lot
you're
going
good.
on.
But you're good.
I'm good though.
Okay, cool.
You know, bulletproof, tanky.
I'll go 2 as well. Yeah.
What was that last time? Was I a 3?
Yeah.
I'm a 3. I'm still
So
holding on.
You maintaining.
You shining.
You know, like I feel like
Shine bright like a diamond.
things are going well. You know, I'm getting my rest. At the end of the day, I'm getting my money, even though it may be a struggle to get.
Even though it take you a little while.
maybe you delayed.
You
but
have to
I'm
pack
good.
up real
I'm
slow.
getting my money. But yeah, I think I'm at a 3. I'm pretty good. Pretty good. Cam?
I would say a 3 too. I'm okay. Doing good.
I am good. I don't know about your negatives, this, that, and the third. Okay.
Forget your
I'm
numbers.
retired.
I'm good.
I'm not hurting for money. I live my life and do what I want when I want to do it. I'm
Retired.
good.
You
Tell
go
him,
off.
Retire
tell him,
life.
girl.
You go off.
Tell him.
Living the life.
Let them
Retirement
know.
is like being on vacation every single day.
Choosing what you want to do.
Shit,
That's
that
right.
sounds nice.
You being your own boss.
Yeah, that's lovely.
I'm trying to get there as soon as
That's
possible.
right.
As soon as possible.
Listen, when that production company takes off and she signs a podcast, we might make some money.
And I'm getting money from a class action suit.
Yeah, we need to sue some more people.
This is real things going on.
That
Real
free money.
conversation. That real conversation. So Cam, you mentioned earlier with the information that your kids are getting that we didn't get as we were younger. How do you feel about social media and like that point where you allow them to have their digital footprint? Like, have you thought about that yet?
So yeah, I've thought about it from when I've seen people literally create Instagram pages for their newborn. Just
I've
like-
seen it too. I've seen it.
It just is. It's weird to me. It's like, why can't you post those pictures on your page instead of creating those?
I ain't gonna hold you.
I don't know.
That's gonna be me.
But why does your
Creating
and
Instagram
Go
also,
away.
also why does a 5-year-old have a phone? I
Yeah,
don't understand.
I mean, not with the phone stuff, but my baby gonna be mad cute and mad fly. That's gonna generate followers.
Does your baby need its own
don't-
IG?
If my
Yeah.
baby could get a blue check and get these checks,
Oh
in-
my God, you monetizing your
Listen,
baby?
remember, we forget Gerber babies and
Well-
commercials and babies making money, all right? You can make money off a
Yeah.
baby.
Well, there's this guy, I can't think of his name, but just recently he shut down. He has 3 kids, and his kids are now like 10, 11, and 12. And he shut down their IG accounts because of the ages that they are now.
Mhm.
So he shut it down, and he's going to let them decide if they want to.
so he was controlling it before,
He was posting the pictures and all of that
and
stuff.
then now that they're of the limited, like the IG.
Is this
age-
man white?
Of course.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Sounds white.
Hustling back.
it sounds
just
applicable.
an-
But
It's
I
just
don't
a
see
no.
anything wrong with that. I think that's a good
it's
idea.
I think it's
I guess
good.
I kind of like old world values a little bit. Like I like, again, the balance of how we were raised. Like even my niece, like I don't have any worries of what she does. Like she just watch anime and YouTube. Like she's not doing nothing crazy on her phone. I know that. Like you ask about a boy, she could care less. So I already know her. But it's like us growing up, it's a little different because I wish she had a little bit of that childhood. Because I don't even think she knows how to ride a bike. So it's like they missed that freeze tag, kickball, dodgeball. They missed that part of the character building, interacting with other kids outside in a neutral environment.
But the kids are still outside though. There are
No,
still
they're not.
But
when you go, like I used to work in the after
She's
school program.
like, sorry, not she. Cam is like one of the first women I heard say like she makes time to take her kids so they have nature and have environments. Like even with my niece, we take her out. Like we go out all the time. But there's a lot who don't.
Mhm.
They're not even latchkey kids, they're just stay-at-home kids.
yeah.
Nigga just stay at home, his iPad. Like that's
Video games.
that's what it is now. His iPad.
And you know what? That causes anxiety
Mhm.
because I have a friend whose daughter suffers from social anxiety. And I mean to even she's a lot better with it now, but to actually speak to somebody on the phone, these kids are so used to texting. They get like deers in the headlight if they have to call somebody on the phone. You know, it causes anxiety.
I mean, like for me, I think is if thinking about kids from like on this side where I'm not, not expecting, it's like I plan to make sure that both sides of their brains developed.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
information side as well as the physical side. Because I don't want my kids to have, any handicap. Ideally, of course, right? Like I want them to be able to do whatever they wanted to do, but I want them to try it first to make sure that if they want to do it now. Like I didn't have the opportunity like Hans. His parents like made sure they played organized sports and all those kind of things. Me, I didn't have it.
Why not?
Overprotective parents and also parents that didn't see that as a logical investment.
Oh, yeah, they didn't see
You're
that
like,
as
yeah,
value.
They made sure our asses got up on that weekend and do some shit.
You're not playing ball. You're not playing football. You're not doing no
Playing
art.
these books.
You're gonna be a doctor, lawyer, or an accountant. That's it. So why would I send you to
Better
basketball
practice
camp?
studying.
Why would I do that? Why would I pay the after school program when you have an older brother? Like that's the type of time we was on.
Right.
But like especially when it comes to socializing, I play organized sports now. I play football, and there's so much that you can learn just from being around your peers, and you have the same goal. And if I had that opportunity from like the age of 12 or even younger, I can imagine how I would be thinking now. And I just feel like
You'd be thinking, get your money up front.
Full circle.
Maybe we had a little bit more interaction with them kids from Brooklyn. Get your money up front.
I'm still learning though. I'm still learning.
At least bring one of your brothers. I'm thinking,
Yeah, man, bring Steve.
What's crazy? I never called my brothers for any one of my squabbles that I went through growing up.
you the tiniest one. You need to call them boys.
But I learned how to fight from them though. So
Yeah,
fighting people that are bigger than you your entire life, you learn
A
how
lot
to
easier
scrap.
to fight it when you got two linebackers by you.
Exactly.
So before we head out, I like that. Like you talked about, like you raise and sometimes you have to divert to the other co-parent. Because I know growing up, you guys did that a lot. Like you raised your two kids already. The other two was just like, all right, you can have those two. So my father pretty much did like a lot of like still in like certain of his values, but my mother was always like, he was extreme and then she was mellow. So it was like when we went out with her, it'd be mellow. He's you know how he is. You see him, you hang out
He
with him.
gets excited. He gets excited.
But
yeah.
it really does take a village, because having your parents at home and then having like an older sister who's old enough and she's grown to take us out and to do things like we never did before. Like when Starbucks first opened, she took us to Starbucks. We in this motherfucker like, damn, I could order anything I want. And she's like, yeah. So like I have that same relationship with my niece. Like she has a credit card and everything for me. Like, oh, just go ahead, go crazy.
Damn.
But
she doesn't
Right.
though.
But she doesn't, and I appreciate that. So, like, when it comes, I think it's like very important, the surroundings in the village, because when you have kids, I think they take, and like you said, they watch. So they'll take bits and pieces of each person that's around them, and they'll create their personality from it. So when you have a kid who, you don't really interact with. You just here's an iPad. Mommy's going to be on Tinder. Like you're not really helping your kid build a personality. Like I look at my niece and she has like a little bit of each of us in her, and it's just like because of the time we've spent with her. So
grown ass person.
Yeah. So do you find that your kids are developing like that also? Like
Definitely. Even from the shows that they watch, they'll be talking like that, like doing little enacting. Like, so my almost 3-year-old, she watches this Russian girl on YouTube, and she's like dramatic. Like, kids are just dramatic, but like she'll go, oh, like that, and fall to the floor, and then my daughter will start running, and then she'll just and nothing's there, and she'll fall to the floor and be like, help, 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 like, you know, acting it out. But it's like, wow, she's really like, she's learning from what she's watching. So it's like, okay, let's turn this off now. Let's go play. Like, let's go do something else.
That's a little creepy.
But like, but they really pick it up even from what they see on TV. Like, if you're giving them the iPad, where else are they learning? If it's not from you, it's from what they're watching and what they're picking up. You know, they pick and choose their videos on there now.
I feel like, you know, a lot of parents don't understand you're their first teacher. You're going to be the first one that, you know, gives them a lot of things they're going to carry on, you know, way before they go to pre-K, you know?
Nobody go, oh, I skip pre-K.
I think
I went to daycare, pre-K. I learned stuff there.
I skipped that. I was too smart for it.
At the age of 3, you was in kindergarten. Wait.
Kindergarten.
At the age of 3, you was in kindergarten.
I skipped kindergarten. I skipped pre-K. We're right to kindergarten, baby.
So at 5 years old, so at what point do you start?
I don't remember the age. You got to ask her. But I know I skipped pre-K because my sister was in pre-K and I was in kindergarten. So I used to have to go to her class and wait for her after school.
That's crazy.
They was taking naps. I was up all day learning. I go to that class, they're like, shit's nap time. I'm like, yo, that's some bullshit. I was getting ripped off from an early age.
So can I ask one more question? We have time for that?
I wanted to end the question, but go ahead.
So this is a question. You can cut it out if you want to. But this is a question I just have. Mom, now that your kids are grown, what do you expect from them? Set the premise for the question. Because I come from a culture where it's like, I'm an ROI. I'm a return on investment. Like my mom paid for everything up until a certain point. Now that all right, cool, you're going to take care of me and make sure my feet is up for the rest of my life. So that's the premise of why I asked the question. What do you expect from your kids?
I do not expect that. Okay. I don't want to be a burden on nobody. I hope I keep my marbles as long as I can. I do not think that children should be obligated to care for their parents. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. If you do it because you want to do it, not because you feel obligated to do it. Like in my family, we believe in putting the old folks in a home if we can't deal. If we can't deal with it, we believe in putting them, you know, with somebody who's a professional who can take care of them. Now, my husband's family, they don't believe in that. So
we gonna see.
You gonna looking at me like, what you gonna do? I don't have to make the decision alone. I got a sister to help me make the decision, and then she got 3 other kids to help me make the decision. So we taking this shit to a vote. Listen, my sister was in Barbados looking at apartments. She looking at fucking old folks retirement homes. I don't know what the fuck she was looking at. It looked like an insane asylum. She trying to put her husband in one already. I told my brothers I'm not letting them go down like that. These women they marry is not putting them away, all right? Running around here with $1 million worth of life insurance. I watch enough Investigation Discovery to know what's coming next.
Wow. Right.
All right? After no poisoning and shit.
Do you see yourself taking care of your parents?
I believe that my mom has done enough to make sure that, because my mom built a house in Haiti. You know, she did a thing. Like, so I believe that I'll be able to, when it comes to that time, that send it to Haiti and make sure that she doesn't have to worry about anything financially.
Listen, man, when you make that barrel, I'll throw some GIFs in it.
Listen, you know.
I got you, baby.
No, the peanut butter go a long way, baby. Nah, but me and my brothers, we all but we want that to happen. Like my mom still sees herself as a mom. I'm 30 and I'm the youngest. My mom still tries to act like a mom. Every time I come over, if she knows I'm coming over, she tries to cook me like a week's worth of food. I'm like, yo, mom, this is why I can't tell you I'm coming over because I'm straight.
Not
good.
in this house. She'll give you some frozen shit. She'll give you some frozen meat to cook your damn self. But Bet you ain't coming here to no fucking
I
meals.
was just gonna say your mother is good.
I mean, but you know,
I mean, I big up to all the mothers to do that.
Big up.
I'm not the one.
but I do think my mom needs to hang out with you because my mom needs to do something.
Some
Like,
independent.
you know, do something to, you know, keep her busy, something to be invested in because my mom is more than just a mom, you know?
Yeah, it's her time to learn who she is as a person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Is she still working?
no, she's retired.
Oh, okay.
Her feet is up. You know, that's why I want her to
God
be in
bless.
Haiti. Like she had arthritis. Why you in New York during the cold months? Go to Haiti.
Right.
Stay in Haiti. But my brother's birthday is in February. So she feels obligated to be here for that.
You need to go out there.
Take her to take
I mean,
him too.
that's a good idea.
Y'all take
that's
a
a good
family
idea.
trip.
Yeah.
We're planning it, but my mom doesn't
Jerry's
want.
scared to go on vacation.
I'm really not.
I know you're not.
I'm
I
really
need you
not.
to get on one. Right?
I'm really not. But we're planning a cruise and all that kind of stuff. I want to go to Haiti, but right now Haiti's crazy because the gangs is out here crazy. But you know, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I think my mom needs more friends that's out here retired and doing their thing.
You know, it's hard to make friends when you get a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's best if you try to keep in contact with the friends you've made
Mm-hmm.
along the way. Because once you get a certain age, it's hard to make friends.
But her friends ain't retired yet, though.
Oh, they're not retired.
Yeah, they're not retired yet.
Yeah,
So
so they can't hang out with her and stuff like that because they got to work.
the closest person retired temporarily because of COVID or whatever. But she lives in Florida. I wish if that person lived in New York, I won't have to worry about my mom no more. Like we good. Like because that person knows how to live, how to enjoy life, wake up at 8 o'clock and do something. You know, my mom is all right, cool. My sons are at work. I'm waiting for them to get back from work. You know, like, you know.
Shit, I'll be coming home. Hello? Empty, mother gone. I was like, anybody home? Like, she be out and about. She booked and busy. So
Come love me.
yeah. Before we head out, I was curious though, if you can impart some wisdom, to the women, the young mothers of this generation, what advice would you give them besides put these niggas on child support?
I mean, that's some solid, that's a gem. That's a nugget.
I would say that your 20s and your 30s are your time to have fun. That's your fun time. From any friends that you have from between 20, 30, and 40, those years, your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s, that's when your friends are gonna, like, you're gonna lose some of them. You know, the ones that are still sticking around by the time you're 50, hold on to those ones. Because you're gonna need them when you get up in the age like I am. I'll be 69 this year.
Couldn't tell.
Mm,
That black don't crack, baby.
amazing.
Yeah.
I did
Go
not
ahead.
think that at all.
That's walking
Crazy.
and that's retirement right there.
You got a year on my mom. My mom ain't vibrant as you are. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she need that. She get somebody to hang out with.
Yeah,
Listen.
you know.
But
My mom, she like a BMW. She make sure she had tune up. She go to the doctors. Shit, if they don't give her appointment, she make her own. I'm coming back next week. You gonna do some stuff.
it seems like she really kept her independency. Like even with kids, like I need to take care of myself. Like,
Mhm.
or I can't take care of this at home.
Mhm.
And like you can see it now, like she looks good, her energy, vibrant. A lot of moms get lost in being a mom
Yeah.
and have no life to where now you're like, your kids are grown and you're just
Right.
still doing all that for them, and that's how you show love. Like that's
Yeah.
like he said, it's how you show love, but it's cool.
Oh, the other thing is, ladies, please get yourself a 401k. Please, if nothing else, get a 401k, make contributions to it every week or every pay period. You can start out making 2% contribution and just increase it when you can, because that will ensure when you get a certain age, you will have retired well. You won't have to worry about money.
Gems.
Mm.
Gem star.
Right? Because that OnlyFans at 60 ain't hitting. All right?
Yet.
I mean, there might be a market for them.
Yeah.
You know, there might be a market.
There is. There is.
Gilfs.
And I just found out that there are 2 sites that buy used panties.
All right.
Mhm.
All right.
Take us out,
Make
Jerry.
money.
Kim, you have any wisdom you want to give to the girls of your age group who don't listen to you otherwise, but now is their time to listen anyway?
Besides what she said, I would just say work on patience and communication. If you have children, a crazy baby daddy or one that isn't crazy, like regardless, patience and communication can go a long way, not for just relationships, but yourself, like keep your peace.
Jerry?
That
Take
was
us out.
episode 18 of Sorry, We Offended You podcast. Thank you to our beautiful guests, Ma and Cam, for joining us. We hope you guys enjoyed the previous 18 episodes, including this one. We'll catch up for episode 19. Y'all can find us on Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're on, we're on. And wherever you listen, we're there too.
And as always, there's no you without us. Damn sure ain't no us without you. We love y'all. Thank you for listening.
What up? It's your boy Hans, aka The Big Paws. Welcome to our official YouTube channel. We're going to be dropping clips daily, weekly, and nightly. If you like us, give us a like on Facebook, a follow on Instagram, a retweet on Twitter. Shit, we bringing Skonex back. MySpace, you heard of it? We might bring that back too. And if we offended you, cool. We don't give a fuck.